Support comes from Big Y, world-class market celebrating 80 years of service to New England families. Big Y's commitment includes support of WNPR and the Faith Middleton Food Schmooze. If you like to eat, drink, and be merry, you're in the right place. Faith here with a welcome toast. It was Irma Bombeck who said, "If life is a bowl of cherries, what am I doing in the pits?" Please feel free to consume this show podcast in small bites or eat the whole thing. It's great to have you joining the party on the Faith Middleton Food Schmooze, the place to have a good time. We have a special salad from Carole Peck of Good News Cafe, her peach tomato corn salad. Those three things are unbelievable together. We're going to tell you how to do that the Carole Peck way. And we're going to be talking about all the summer stuff. We've got an amazing cocktail from Anthony DeSario. We have got a fabulous Chardonnay. This is a white Burgundy from France that is available now in our region. Can't wait to get to these. It's really a delicious, delicious wine. My treasured food buddies are here. Senior contributors Chris Prosperi, Alex Province, and our bartender Anthony DeSario, who's our chief cocktail contributor, plus our special guest, Carole Peck of Good News Cafe in Woodbury, Connecticut. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Hi. Oh, it's the time of year we love. We've got so many things coming your way.
Sun.
You know what I want to start with is I can't get over Carole Peck's combination of, this has never occurred to me, and what a combination this is. Peach tomato corn salad. Carole.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be here today. How I came up with this is, tomatoes are in season, peaches are in season, corn is in season. So, as Chris told me a little while ago, he said, if it's in season, it goes together.
You both...
You put it a different way,
If
though.
it grows together, it goes together.
So do you both feel that way as chefs?
Yes.
That turns out to be true?
Yes, absolutely.
Especially if they grow in the same area together.
Yeah.
That's usually almost 100%.
It works
true.
with wine as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And up in Washington, I have an amazing farm that has peaches that are just fabulous.
Really? What is
Washington,
that?
Connecticut.
What's the
It's
farm?
Starberry Fruit Farm. You can go and pick two there, and it's amazing. They have white peaches.
The juice
and,
just rips down.
and that with a great tomato that's coming in. And then you can take your corn, you can grill your corn first and then take it off the cob.
Walk us through how to do this. How do we do it?
All right. So you're going to take your peaches, and if you have great ripe peaches, you peel the skin off without any difficulty. The skin just will come off.
Okay.
Okay, so you've got to have ripe peaches if you want to peel your
And you
your
want
peaches.
them skinned?
You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
But I like it better that way,
more
I'm a
refined.
chef. What can we do? And then wonderful tomatoes. You take your tomato and wedge them. You wedge your peaches. Okay? You arrange that on a platter. You can grill your corn and then take your corn and cut it off the cob. Or if you don't like it that way, you can cut it off the cob first and blanch it.
Okay.
Okay? Sprinkle that all over your peach and corn platter. And then take either really thinly sliced red onion or shallot. Put that over the whole thing. Sprinkle a little salt, a little, I'm not a pepper person, so I don't put pepper on things like that. But a lot of people would. And a little lemon juice, fresh squeezed lemon juice, and then honey over the whole thing.
Fresh honey.
Yeah.
Oh,
You mean
nice
drizzle.
a drizzle of honey.
And do you
So-
toss it then?
No,
Or
then I
no?
leave
You
it on a
just
platter and you just
scoop it.
scoop it up and
Oh,
eat it.
my.
That's summer
It's-
eating.
That's summer right there.
It's so simple. I mean, and you have some kind of grilled fish or whatever with it.
the
It's
colors are
delicious.
You
amazing.
are so south
Yeah.
of France.
A little sliced red
I
onion
am,
on
I'm
top.
there.
Right?
I
Sliced
know.
bread, thinly sliced
So I'm
red
almost
onion
thinking,
on.
Oh, it's delicious.
if you had some sort of bread, I don't know if a baguette would work or brioche or something to sort of sop up some of the juices.
I would do
and the
I would do
honey.
more a baguette or a sourdough or something like that.
sourdough,
And you could grill the bread, do big thick cut
Yeah.
pieces and grill the
With
bread
a little olive oil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could have
Rustic.
that with it. Yeah, it'd be really
Oh.
nice together.
You know-
But it's a nice base. You can start with this. It's like, what kind of herb do you want to put on there? Do you,
What would
Fresh
you?
mint,
What could go on there?
basil.
mint, basil, chervil. Even if you want to take it in another direction, cilantro will work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chives.
so,
I do
yeah.
like. I mean, people are
Yeah.
divided on cilantro. But I
Yeah,
happen
totally
to be.
divided.
I'm totally into it. But in any case, that is such a wonderful idea as
I
a
love
different kind of salad from the traditional green salad. It's just a different way to use corn, to combine it with peaches and tomatoes. Just fantastic.
Well, they all work together. You're going to see when you eat this. You're going to say, "Yay! I'm really happy."
I wonder if it would go with biscuits, like freshly made
Oh
biscuits.
yeah, biscuits would
with
work.
the honey.
Playing off the honey and the
yeah.
corn.
Yeah, biscuits
But
would work
I bet
for
that
sure.
smoke from the grilled
Yeah.
corn with the peaches.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's really good.
Nice.
Wow, Carol, thank you so much for that idea.
Get
Oh my
summer
goodness.
food.
Clever.
Yeah,
Go home and make it tonight.
And what interests me is when I was in Paris a long time ago, I'd led a food and wine trip there, and we went to a restaurant called Arpège, which is in
All
Paris.
vegetarian, yeah.
It became vegetarian.
Yeah.
At the time, he was serving meat, and he's the one who made the stuffed tomato as dessert, that famous thing, and
Right.
it had 40 herbs and spices or something. I mean, it was just chock full of everything imaginable. And it made me really understand that tomato was a fruit
Yes.
and not a vegetable.
But
And so I'm
exactly.
looking at your combination here, and I'm thinking, two fruits,
Right.
tomato and peach, and then the corn in there, which is, it's a corny...
Sweet
it
as
has
well.
its own flavor, and yet it has a kind of neutrality about it that could
Well,
kind
that's it. It acts almost like a little a vegetable
Starchy.
crouton
Yeah,
in there,
yeah.
So,
That's a great way
Yeah,
to put that.
so-
And our corn is so sweet here in Connecticut.
In season.
in season,
Unbelievable.
it's fabulous. It's
You
really
know, I have to
fabulous.
say, East End of Long Island, the
Oh, yeah.
same.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic corn.
I'd say the whole Northeast, right? Has
Yeah.
some
Pretty much.
amazing
Good corn.
You
Pretty
guys can
much.
grow so much out there in the Hamptons, right? On
Yeah.
the East End.
So, oh boy, okay, that was really fun. Which was one of the, I'm thinking.
I want to
of-
try that right now. I can't stop
too.
thinking about the juice
Yeah.
from the
I am
peaches
too.
and
Yeah, no,
tomatoes.
everything. It just works
Yeah.
so well.
Can I make a mention of something? When Alex said biscuits, I want to later talk about this because I was just online reading at a blogger's site that he claims to have invented the easiest and really fastest, simplest biscuit. What he's doing, and Chris and Carole, I want to know what you think about this. He's using a self-rising flour that already has the stuff in it that you would normally put in a biscuit. So that's all by itself. And he's using cream instead of butter because the cream has butterfat
Fat,
in it.
Right.
Yeah, especially a high fat.
And
Yeah.
so
Right,
he's
butter,
making
or
these
cream.
instant cream biscuits that we're going to talk about later on the show that are
it.
sound amazing to me in how speedy and simple they are. Very wet dough, ice cream scoop, bang, you're done in
The
10
less you
minutes.
That's
work
it.
it, the better, right?
That's
On a-
it. You want it to be crumbly and,
Yeah.
and delicious.
Does that make sense to the two of you,
Well,
that flour and cream, and making a cream biscuit, drop
it
biscuit?
makes sense for me because I do like a corn cake, which is like a tamale
I
kind
love
of
your
batter.
corn cake.
Yeah, so, it's a different one. In the summertime, we make like a fresh corn cake that we bake.
Oh.
And we make it with cream in it. That's what we do. And it works really well. You grind the corn up and you add a little flour, cornmeal, and then cream,
Totally
and you
works.
bake it. So I could see this biscuit working because you've got baking powder in there and the self-rising flour.
So,
Huh.
we were talking about the East End of Long Island, and in East Hampton there is a store called Mary's Marvelous, and in Amagansett too, and it's just a terrific place. And she makes arepas. How do I explain what these are? They're corn and cheese kind of cake, right?
Yeah, it's a Venezuelan. It comes out of Venezuela, arepa, and it is really just like their corn cake, which is a sort of more dense.
But it has cheese in it.
And you
That
could
makes
put
it a little more dense,
You could
yeah.
put anything in it. They like to even eat it plain and put with eggs and all kinds of stuff. I have a Venezuelan guy who works for me, and he goes
Makes
nuts
the best
for
arepas.
arepas.
I really
His partner makes.
Yeah, we
them.
don't. You know what? We don't see
yeah.
that
We don't
on
see a lot
menus
of that
around
up
here.
here, no.
He's an incredible waiter, that guy. So we were, when I had these arepas, I was so crazy for them that I started going into Spanish markets to think how I could make them at home. I still can't really find the right flour, I've decided. But in any case, if you see these somewhere, I would say absolutely try one.
yeah,
Just
definitely.
fantastic.
Yeah, arepas could be addictive for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you want to be
yeah.
careful.
I wonder
It's-
why we don't see them a lot in here. Maybe because we don't have the people from, right?
I bet we could
Well,
find them
we-
in Hartford.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe. I'm
maybe.
trying to think if I've
Sure.
seen them in
But
Hartford.
it's really very Venezuelan,
Yeah.
South American,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, and you don't have. It's not even in other countries.
Yeah.
You don't see it in Chile or anywhere
So I gotta
else.
It's very
Google this.
specific
yeah,
to that
exactly.
region.
So
yeah.
you have to have people who really cook Venezuelan food.
So
the Colombians
R-E-
make them too. Colombian
Yeah.
make them as well.
I had some Colombia
Oh,
friends
do
that
they?
used
Colombia
to
Yeah,
do
too?
that.
Colombia,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
make them as well.
So it's
to put,
really
like,
that
refried
area
beans
of
That's
South
it.
America.
That's it.
Wonderful to hear about all these things, and I'm suddenly my mouth is watering. So, so while I was saying that, I asked to get the paper on the biscuits, and so I just want to say, because you've heard about Carole's peach tomato corn salad, do you do that in the restaurant, by the way?
I can. It depends.
If you people
Special,
call
yeah,
up, yeah.
No, but also specials, that kind of thing. You know.
Yeah, okay. So we're encouraging you to do this at home. This is going to be our next go-to thing. So I've got the paper on the biscuits, and this was originally, I want to give them full credit, in Serious Eats. And so the guy talking says, the way you want to streamline a biscuit is to replace the flour that's normally in there that is combined with baking powder and salt, and you replace all that with the self-rising flour because that has all of that in it. And it's softer, the self-rising flour, and it's more finely milled, and so it's very, very good for making biscuits. So these cream biscuits replace the butter, as I mentioned, and milk with heavy cream. So you're not adding butter, you're not adding milk, you just put in heavy cream. Because there's butter fat in the cream, the biscuits, when you bake them, you brush the top with the cream, and so the whole biscuit
yeah.
all
Yeah.
the way down has this very buttery flavor. And so these are 2-ingredient biscuits, and I think that is such a riot. Okay, so self-rising flour, and then an equal amount of heavy cream. And you do it by weight. You want
so
to weigh
it is
it.
a wet. It is
Yeah.
a wet.
It's a
Yeah.
very,
Wet.
very wet. And you just stir it together, and you're done. You have a biscuit dough.
Wow.
That's my
sounds right
kind.
for me.
Yeah, see, that's my kind of
Yeah,
cooking.
me
Right
You know
too.
what seems
Isn't that
interesting is
genius?
the flour is homogeneous, so you don't have to worry about getting like the salt and everything
Right.
sort of mixed in, and then you don't have to worry about the cold butter being cut in, so it's equally dispersed because it's already in the liquid homogenized cream. So pretty genius.
Yep.
Well,
Very
what-
fast too, and
And so I was thinking to myself, when you give me a recipe like this, and I'm not a baker, I think to myself, what do you mean? How much flour?
Yeah.
How much cream? And he said what he thinks about is 1 ounce is 1 biscuit of flour. So if you're going to make
Good
12
way to do it.
biscuits, 12
Ounces of
ounces,
flour.
and
And
then
do
you
it
do
by
the
weight.
matching
Weight,
liquid,
yeah.
12
Yeah.
ounces
Okay.
of heavy cream. You're done, and it's quite wet, and then you take an ice cream scoop it out,
Yeah.
and then brush them with cream, keep them a couple inches apart on your sheet, and then into the oven they go
Love
at
it.
425 for 10 minutes.
And they'll look
Yeah.
like a regular biscuit.
They look totally
they'll
like a
pop up.
regular biscuit.
I would chop
Wow.
up some
They're-
jalapenos in
there are
there,
pictures.
right?
Oh,
It
yeah.
adds
corn.
stuff.
Add some corn. Chop
Yeah,
like
if you
grilled
like the
There's your
recipe, though.
bacon.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
bacon.
Bacon.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave these.
What's that
just as they
Mexican
are.
cheese that you put on
Manchego?
the? No, that's
Mexican.
no,
Spain.
the
but
queso fresca.
Yeah.
yeah.
that would be fun to sort of
Fold
put that
it-
in with the
fold it
cream
in
as
there.
well.
Yeah.
So what fruit are we into? Are we've done Carol's peaches. Is anybody doing anything else with any fruit right now? Are you doing
Does gazpacho
blueberries? And, yes, it does.
sangria.
No.
Yeah.
I,
Oh,
you know what? I
sangria.
haven't
That's
had
good.
any of his gazpacho this year yet, and I'm jonesing.
Okay, I'll bring some.
Well,
in.
we're going to
Yeah.
do.
You make a
He
tomato one,
oh my
or
God.
Yeah.
do you chop it?
No, blender.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's not gazpacho for me. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I know, but you know what? Hey,
This
listen.
is the real
Oh,
thing.
wait. I was the same way.
Yeah.
So Alex, we're going to do a special thing on this, and we're going to post the recipe as we always do.
Okay.
Coming up, but I just want to say one thing to you, Carol. Honestly, his family's from Spain.
Okay. I get
This
that.
is the best gazpacho I've ever had in my life.
Do you make a white one as well?
We've
Yeah.
sometime we made a winter one, but we'll
I
Yeah.
tell you,
I can't spill the bean.
We tried. I challenged him and I said,
Yeah,
"Can you
make one in
use
the winter."
canned tomatoes in the winter and make gazpacho?" And we did.
Yeah, and it wasn't
And it was
bad.
really good.
Yeah, but the summer one, I'm telling you, I used to be that guy. I chopped only. It was the way I did gazpacho from the beginning. And then I had it, and I was like, no way.
So I watched my grandfather and my great uncle, we go to the finca, and they would make it out of this bowl that has been the family for, hundreds of years. They do it all by hand. So
Mashing
it's
it.
using,
Yes.
mashing it in a wooden bowl.
Yeah,
and everything gets chopped.
We have blenders now.
So as Chris points out, so it's that concept that's been turned into sort of what the moms, or dads are doing, how they learn from their grandparents, but modernize. And I still am able to capture that sort of the
Get
spirit
that right
of,
flavor.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You can drink the whole beaker.
Yeah, I adore gazpacho.
Yeah, you can go to our site right now. We're going to post the recipe in a special way, but you can go to our site right now and find, just in the search box.
Yeah, because we did it.
Put in,
right?
gazpacho, and you will see Alex's gazpacho recipe there.
Thousands of hits on it.
A stunning thing. And that's at foodschmooze.org. Okay, what are we doing? We're talking summer food. We're having a great time together. We have a cocktail and a great wine coming your way. Carole Peck with more ideas. She is an amazing, amazing restaurant chef from Good News Cafe in Woodbury, Connecticut. And we are going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with more Food Schmooze. Don't go away.
Just wanna hang out with you. Just wanna hang out with you. But I wanna hang out with you. Just wanna hang out with you. But I wanna hang out with you. Just wanna hang out with you. But I wanna hang out with you. Just wanna hang out with you.
Okay, hope that first bite of the Food Schmooze felt like a hot biscuit with butter coming your way. Feel free to tell your food-loving friends worldwide they can enjoy the show and our online site at foodschmooze.org. Here's your second bite.
Beans and cornbread. Beans and cornbread. Beans and cornbread. Beans and cornbread had a fight. Beans knocked cornbread out of sight. Cornbread said, now that's all right. Meet me on the corner tomorrow night. I'll be ready. I'll be ready tomorrow night. I'll be ready. I'll be ready tomorrow night. I'll be ready. I'll be ready tomorrow night. That's what Beans said to cornbread.
We have a free podcast for you, meaning you'll never miss a drop of pleasure. And here's how that works. You just sign up for it once at our site, foodschmooze.org, and then we automatically send you this show every week. It just pops up like a hot biscuit, and you can listen on your schedule when you want, when time permits. It's just a terrific thing. It's how so many people are listening. And when you're at our site, you will see that we have our curated food, wine, and events and cocktail recommendations there. So stop by and say hello and discover all kinds of things. The richness of life. Foodschmooze.org. I'm with my treasured food buddies, Chris Prosperi, chef and co-owner of Metro Beast Restaurant in Simsbury, Connecticut, wine broker Alex Province, and our cocktail chief contributor, Anthony DeSerio, our special guest, Carole Peck, who is chef and co-owner of Good News Cafe in Woodbury, Connecticut. I want to talk with you in just a bit, Carole, about some really fun things to do with zucchini and grilling vegetables in general. But first, let's turn to, I said to Alex Province, Alex, pick for me. He's a wine broker, and I said, pick for me one of your absolute favorite summer white wines. And he has come up with one that is so beautiful. It's a white Burgundy, and it is made by the Ovig of family. So the vineyard is Ovig, and we have this online, so you can either bring it on your phone to the wine store or call ahead and spell things for them. White Burgundy means that it's Chardonnay.
Yeah.
So tell me about this.
So it comes from the south side of Burgundy, so just north of Beaujolais and just south of Côte d'Or. And because it's white Burgundy, it's 100% Chardonnay. So this is fermented in stainless steel, and it goes straight into bottle, so it doesn't have any barrel aging or barrel sort of contributions, no oakiness. But what's beautiful about that is all you're tasting is beautiful fruit grown on limestone, and that's fermented and put into bottles. So you're really tasting the fruit. You're not tasting fruit that's been masked by a big oaky barrel. And it grows on the specific sort of limestone soil that they're famous for that has a minerality to it, but it's also citrusy and has good acidity. So it's like fruit and sort of, salty.
So crisp yet balanced.
It's kind of a beautiful mouthfeel and a wine that yet has a body to it, a richness to it, and it is the kind of white that is just beautiful sipping or pairs well with foods like this. I would say fish that have a kind of buttery feel to them.
Pan-fried flounder and brown butter sauce, or
lobster.
Scallops.
Coquille Saint-Jacques or
So
something.
whatever you're, doing something on the grill, but also just for sitting around and drinking this wine. Absolutely delicious. A beautiful wine to bring to somebody's house if you have to walk in the door and you want to not seem stingy and also feel proud. This is one of those wines. So this is called Macon Village, and it is from the Ovig family vineyard, and we have this online, and it retails for about
$18.
Yeah. So
That's great.
it's really
And it's
good price point
if you're
for a
used to-
wine like this.
If you're used to drinking American Chardonnay, it's a bigger style. This is a little more elegant and nice acidity. So for the summer, it's hot. You don't maybe necessarily want a huge Chardonnay. This is a beautiful chill,
Chicken.
with grilled chicken. Oh,
Definitely more
Yeah.
refined.
Sit
Really beautiful
outside.
with
Nice
grilled
wine.
chicken.
yeah.
Yeah,
They're doing a lot of that in France in stainless steel and all the whites
Yeah.
and rosés and instead of in barrels.
The trend is going towards unoaked Chardonnay.
Right, because it's crisp and it's
Very
delicious.
refreshing and not as flabby,
Right.
but still has good
And
mouthfeel.
let's face it, they can reuse the barrels again and again and again, and aren't having to hire people to retoast the barrels and not.
Well, also that they also get rid of the barrels after so many years too. They don't keep the
cost.
And
barrels,
they're
so
expensive.
it's a huge cost for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah, they're about $1,000 a piece a
Yeah.
barrel.
I
Yeah.
like the crispness of a stainless steel fermented better than especially in Chardonnay, better
yeah.
than oak.
I like them both. I like
I
a
do too.
Merceau.
I don't turn away either.
Okay, so
Pulling any monsters
For
there or
summer, it's
something.
great.
Yeah.
It's nice for summer.
But it's
this kind of
$18.
wine.
If it was an oak Merceau, it would be
Oh, yeah, it would be-
$45
exactly.
or something.
So online, we have a shot of the label. We tell you what to say at your wine store. The distributor is Winebow. Perfect host gift wine, and just the two of you for the weekend, delicious drinking. So Macon, M-A-C-O-N, Village, Villages, and it's the Ovig family. So there you go, a French wine for the summer, and sold widely here now, thanks to these importers and distributors. So that's a great, great wine choice, Alex.
good.
Thank you
Glad you like it.
for that discovery. We're going to move on to cocktails in just a bit, Anthony. I want to take a quick pause to talk about grilling vegetables for a second, if I could. One of the things that we've discussed on the show is seeing that vegetables get coated with oil and then they burn on people's grills. And
that
so
lately.
we're not talking about a nice little char or that beautiful dark brown caramelization. We're talking about out and out black vegetable.
It looks like the
And
scrubber you
oily.
clean the grate with.
No, an
whatever.
oily burn, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
oily burn that I
Exactly.
can't
And
stand.
I would like to be the first to raise my hand and say that I have been the person
That
who
oily
has
burned the
who's
vegetables?
burned the vegetables more times than I would care to tell you, because it just gets away from me sometimes. What's the trick to not having that happen? Turning,
Chris and I both agree that you got to cut your vegetables bigger.
Yeah.
You can't have these little pieces of vegetable on a grill and try to turn them.
Yeah, I've seen people
know,
try to
yeah.
grill vegetables
So-
that you would normally saute.
Right.
And they fall through the grate.
tell us how what
So
do you mean? when
For
you say-
example, if you take a pepper, you're going to want to cut that pepper either in a big, wide rectangular or in a triangle, but a large piece, like basically something that would be, 4 inches by 4 inches or something?
As big as you can get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah, and if you want it
And-
smaller, cut it after you grill it, like you said with the corn, right? You don't try to grill corn after you take it off the cob. You grill it before you take it off the cob, and then you cut it.
Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong.
But corn is another thing too. You could grill that right in the husk.
And then you get rid of any kind of burn.
And then
We
you don't,
soak the husks in
that's
salt
it.
water in a
But I
bucket.
want a little char on my corn kernel.
Well, if you do the husk and char it, you're going to get a little bit.
you
in
get
there,
a.
yeah.
In fact, it burns on the outside,
Right.
so you're infusing it with all the.
So
smoky
that could be good. And then onions, I really think that you should slice them across into rounds.
Yes, agreed.
Thicker rounds. It will work better if you're grilling than to try to do a slice of onion on there. You want to have something that's whole and complete.
Do you keep the root end intact so it holds it together?
Not necessarily.
No, and if you're worried about that, you
I
can
want
take
to
a
make sure I
wooden
understand.
skewer.
Can you just? Oh, sorry, Chris. Can you just explain that one more time? With the onions, how are you cutting them?
You're cutting them across, so you're getting rounds.
And so,
And you do it a little thicker because
how thick? That's what I'm.
I would say probably
Like a
about
half inch?
maybe even 3/4, something. in there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's. Oh,
Yeah.
I am doing
because
them
once
too thin.
once that cooks,
they shrink.
they shrink,
are gonna shrink
and
down.
but you're going to have that wonderful juiciness of the onion still. It's not going to be
softness
this
inside.
little black thing that you don't know what it is.
So what about-
was that the fennel or was it the onion? We don't know.
So we coat our zucchini in mayonnaise. Like, does that help it not? I think the mayonnaise just sticks better than olive oil. But it's an old.
No, I mean, it's an old trick, but again, you can't use
It's
too
so
much.
scrumptious. Like
I could see why.
It's almost like when you do an elote.
It's the
I
aioli.
like to pour cream on my.
Before you grill them.
and then wrap in bacon and hold it together.
Nice healthy
Just
vegetables.
whatever you do, just don't overdo it, right? Don't
Yeah.
over put mayonnaise. Don't over put oil, right? Put just you don't
other
use a
thing is-
lot.
That's going to
Cooking with-
contribute to the burn.
Yeah.
Cooking with good light is important. We try to cook after work sometimes when it's dark out, and you're looking at a black Weber. It's outside. You can't see as closely what you're doing. It's not until you take it off the grill and you carry it inside you're like, oof, maybe that one went a little too longer.
Yeah, you need a light.
Well, it's like eggplant too. It's in season.
Yeah.
Same thing. You
I
want to
love
cut,
grilling
cut
eggplant.
a large round.
And that's the other thing I don't like.
So
eggplant.
you have the whole piece of eggplant.
Horizontally.
Yeah, and when people do-
across the eggplant.
And
That's
when
what I'm
people,
saying.
Not horizontally, not end to end. You want to go across the.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
and when
So-
people do it too thin and it grills, it almost turns into a piece of leather.
Yeah, no, it's not good.
Right? You want to make it
looks
nice
like
and
the
thick
bottom
so
of a
it's-
shoe.
So it's soft on the inside and cooked.
Yeah, you'll
and
have
yet
that-
crispy uncharred on the outside.
So
Because you could do like a charred eggplant salad with charred red onions and all that stuff.
that's
And
so
you
good.
what are you
chop
putting
it.
in that?
Sometimes I make it like with sesame tahini in there. So you have that nice sort of Middle Eastern kind of flavor.
Do you have to do anything
or
to
you
the
could
eggplant?
do it with feta cheese. You grill it and chop
But
it.
no soaking it or getting
No,
it in
no,
the-
no, no.
Grill it first.
Especially this time
No,
of the year.
no,
Very.
yeah.
No,
A lot of
okay.
our eggplant is not bitter
Bitter.
at all.
So,
Yeah.
Carole Peck, you grill it first and
Right.
then you chop it.
And then you chop it.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, and I always say when you make if you're doing a charcoal fire, like a charcoal grill,
Yes.
and you get that, it always seems to me it's at that perfect temperature when you're done grilling. When I'm doing it at home, I always have stuff to put on it at that point that I'm going to use another day, like tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's
vegetables is a good example. I'll grill a bunch of vegetables after I've grilled dinner, let my dinner rest a little bit off the grill, and then I'll grill a bunch of vegetables. I'll throw them on a pan, let them sit, and then after dinner's all done, I've done the dishes, then I'll go back to those grilled vegetables, chop them up, make like a salad with tahini or whatever you want to do, just a little olive oil and balsamic, and then you can eat that the next day on top of a salad.
Even
or,
cold,
or
yeah.
Oh,
heat
it's
it up with
delicious
chicken
cold.
or
That's
whatever.
what's nice
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful
Right?
cold
We've
salad.
been using
I'm
vegetable
starving.
Right? Use that
This
grill.
show makes me hungry.
So cooking aside, I like serving stuff. So we have a big wooden board,
Yes.
and we grill everything. We put all the ingredients, we carry it in,
Beautiful.
and we eat like family style.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful.
off this wooden board. It's so fun to get.
And if
Yeah.
you use big pieces of zucchini, right? If you cut large pieces, that effect
Yeah.
on the board looks
Looks
awesome,
awesome,
doesn't it?
yeah.
You have long strips of zucchini, long strips of eggplant.
if you have sausages or
Yeah.
chicken, you put in.
Can you give me your take on what kind of, if you have a gas grill, this is not relevant, but if you're someone who uses charcoal, what do you prefer? What kind of charcoal? Just a
Big
traditional?
Yeah.
No, I like the big
Big
chunk
chunks.
of
Also,
wood.
they
Or
have
the
the wood one,
Yeah,
you know.
the hardwood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Do you
the
like
hardwood
that?
Yeah,
chunks.
yeah.
You like that the best?
I do like that the best for sure, but
I will say though, sitting outside on the stoop in Hartford, I can smell the briquettes wafting
Yes.
down the
Yeah.
street. And there's
That's-
something very
smells like-
nostalgic about that.
Oh, and the
I love
lighter
it.
fluid, right?
Yeah,
From the
yeah.
70s.
Puts me in a good mood. I love it.
The lighter fluid, that smell of lighter
Yeah,
fluid.
exactly.
But,
means
you know,
summer,
we
doesn't
some-
use
it
the,
does.
the wood chunks,
Yeah,
but there's
it's, you know,
something
and
about
it's-
smelling
and
the
it's
Kingsford
nostalgic.
that's nostalgic. I love it.
Yeah.
Now, I have a grill that does both. That's my favorite summer grill. I bought the Weber one that is the gas assist. So you just throw your charcoal on, you turn the gas on, you burn your charcoal for a couple minutes, you turn the gas off, and you have a charcoal
And
fire.
it's lit.
We use the
Nice.
chimney.
Do you like it the best of any grill you've
You
had
use
so
the
Yeah.
far?
chimney?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love it.
it's
Love it
easy.
because you don't have to do the chimney.
The chimney's fun.
Wow. And
It
you
shoots
with the
up
dirt, you got to
sparks.
touch everything.
On the boat.
Not on the boat. On the boat, we use a little gas one.
Who
Carole, what
remembers
do
the hibachi, though? Do you remember hibachi?
Yeah, for sure.
I want one
It
again.
still exists in
Can
a
you
lot
get
of
one?
restaurants.
Oh, my
Yeah, I had one for a while.
So, Carole, at home, what kind of grill? Do you have a gas, charcoal, or any grill at home?
Me
or-
at home?
Yeah.
No, I don't cook at home.
You know,
Not too much.
do you go
I don't
out?
blame you.
Do you go out?
Yeah, I mean, I work 6 days a week, it
I know.
seems.
Do you
so
bring food home with
I
you
do.
from the restaurant?
I do.
Right.
I do, but I don't eat breakfast in the morning. I'm not a
Neither.
breakfast person.
That's, see, these are
So-
things that people don't know
This is
about.
an
chefs.
industry
Yeah.
thing.
So
Yeah.
what do you do? So you skip breakfast and then you go straight is for lunch.
I go into the restaurant for lunch and I start picking.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
I do
That's
the,
lunch.
I
Yeah.
do the picking a little bit, and then at 3:30 we eat.
Family
Oh,
style.
family
yeah,
meal.
Yeah, then we have a meal. So
and
that's
is it? Do you plan ahead, or you just say this is what comes up from today's ingredients?
I have people
like a
from
s-
Ecuador working for me a lot.
Ooh.
So we always get.
Oh, excellent.
They have to eat lunch. One time I gave them sandwiches, and they didn't talk to me for like a month. They're like, "This is not lunch." Okay.
Wow.
So we always have amazing like caldos. They're kind of soups. You know, they'll do them with eggs in them, and it's like great food. I love our lunches. They like to do fried rice a lot too, but
Yep.
that sort of thing.
This is
Wow.
so
Wow.
we always have a good lunch around 3:30.
Isn't this interesting
Yeah.
about the different cultures?
yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
insulting to give a sandwich to Ecuadorians.
Yeah,
you know, how do you
absolutely.
know? You
And
know,
a lot of my support staff are Muslim from the Middle East, and so that's what our family meals are like.
what yours are?
Yeah, Moroccan,
Middle Eastern,
Yemen,
Yeah.
Yeah, because they
They
want to
make
make their own
lunch.
food. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they want to make their own food because a lot of
have
times they're not interested in our food, like sandwiches. They're like, huh?
Yeah, no, sandwiches don't go over at
What
all.
is that?
no.
It's an American thing,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
But we have to have a meal. I mean, you know, they can't.
It's
just,
interesting because really, say, Middle Eastern flatbread
Yeah.
is essentially a sandwich. You know, it has meat
Yeah, but
on
you
it.
eat it with the
Yeah.
with the dish. You
Yep.
pick up things with
So
the
last
dish.
night-
That's like
yeah.
a fork and knife.
Yeah, last
Yeah.
night we had grilled chicken, and the grilled chicken we had toasted pita, and then we had rice with saffron. You know, they make
Delicious.
this beautiful rice.
Any
And-
raisins in there?
No, he just did
Okay.
saffron and onions, and that was, and then he made a little sauce out of some leftover tomatoes
Yeah.
that we had, and then you rip your pita, and then you grab a little chicken, put it on there. Yeah, you're making a little
That's
hand
it.
sandwich.
That's it.
You're
You
right.
know.
It is a sandwich.
It's your eating utensil, basically.
Exactly.
So
All
eat
right.
with your sandwich.
Here's what I want to say. We love the local. By the way, if you have something you think we should know about here on the Food Schmooze, let us know. We would love to know about it. And we ask you as you listen to support our local food growers and food makers for on-demand podcast delivery of the Food Schmooze Party every week, and to find our curated food, wine, cocktail, restaurant, hot topics, short, fun streaming video lessons, and recipes we feature. We're always online talking with you at foodschmooze.org. We'll be right back. We have one more mouth-watering bite of the Food Schmooze coming up. Here's something great to know about. Sign up for the app called NPR One. Just download it from the iPhone App Store or your Android device. And once you do, you can set WNPR as your local station. Couldn't be easier. Download the free app NPR One and start listening. Let's party on. More Food Schmooze. This is the Food Schmooze Party, offering you the richness of life and coming to you in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New York, including Westchester County, the East End of Long Island, and the Hamptons. The senior producer is Robin Doyen-Aiken. And to hear the show on WNPR, it airs Thursdays at 3, Saturdays at noon. Podcasts, meaning the delivery of this show, anytime you want it. And our curated recommendations are always online at foodschmooze.org. Talk with us on Facebook, too. Carole Peck is with us, our special guest from Good News Cafe in Woodbury, Connecticut. Great, great discussion. I'm so hungry. I want to go out and grill. I want to turn, though, to Anthony DeSerio, our chief cocktail contributor, who has made this amazing summer cocktail. And this is online right now at foodschmooze.org. Wait until you hear this. Go ahead, Anthony.
So when I think summer, I definitely think tequila. So margaritas are happening. My favorite tequila cocktail is the Paloma with the grapefruit juice and some soda. So I put the two together. I'm going to call this Alex's Fault.
My fault.
I like. Is that the name of the cocktail?
That's the name of the cocktail.
But
this is Alex's fault because instead of the grapefruit
right
juice, we have equal parts of 100% silver agave tequila. And then we did another part of lime juice. The recipe is online. To top it off, to get that Paloma aspect, Alex introduced us to the pamplemousse. That great grapefruit liqueur that you introduced us to before the cocktail show. And I just was turned on by it. I said, I need to reuse this in another cocktail. So this way we combine the margarita and the Paloma together. Nice. So we have the pamplemousse, the fresh lime juice, 100% silver agave tequila.
It's fantastic.
Built it on the rocks and topped it off with Fever Tree elderflower tonic water.
Yes. So Fever Tree, which makes the most beautiful tonic water, as Anthony says, is now making this elderflower tonic water.
Elderflower
and it is
tonic. It's
absolutely
goes with everything. Goes with
delicious.
Gins.
You can get it in many,
Everywhere.
many liquor stores and some markets.
I need a bottle.
Yeah.
Okay, so very, very
That's a
gorgeous
refreshing
cocktail.
So cheers to Alex.
Hey.
Alex's fault. Thank you.
I like Alex's
I'm
fault.
like the innocent one over here.
It's like, I didn't do it. No, take credit for this.
Yeah,
This is a good one.
exactly.
So can all of you give me a lesson on doing beef tenderloin on the grill? When somebody else does it and serves it to me, I'm in heaven. But I myself am a little bit nervous about doing this. So what's the easiest, most delicious way to do this?
Well, are you going to make steaks or are you going to do the whole piece?
I'm going to do the whole
Okay,
piece
so-
and then cut it afterward.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you got your end tips off, too, so you don't have, so it's all one even, pretty
They're
much
too
even
narrow at the
size.
end,
Yeah.
right?
So you take off the end tips and you also take off on the head of it. There's a little part that hangs down further. I'd cut that off. And then I always try to do a rub on mine. You can do like a coffee and
I was just going to say coffee rub. Yep.
yeah, that kind of
I
thing.
love her. I do.
So you do that rub and you marinate your meat in that. I would do it overnight. You really want that. You can use cumin in there and coriander seed and fennel seed and the coffee. It's delicious together.
Okay, so
Okay?
your favorite rub,
Yeah.
whatever sounds good. The ones you're describing sound terrific.
Right.
And you rub that all over the meat with any oil too, or just the rub
I like
itself?
to do the dry rub on that.
Dry rub. And then
Okay.
do you coat it, and then wrap it in
Foil?
plastic
Foil
wrap or
or-
anything, or just...
Just in a pan, cover it
In
with
a-
plastic.
Oh, cover the pan. Yeah,
Right,
and then
right.
into the fridge
Yeah,
overnight.
yeah,
then
yeah.
then you want to take it out 20 minutes before you're going to grill so it comes to room temperature.
Yeah, even a little more than that.
Half an
Yeah,
hour.
half an hour would be good. And then you want to make sure that your grill isn't overly hot.
Yeah, because you have to cook
wanna
it
have
all
a
the
medium,
way through.
Yeah.
And if it's too
So-
hot, you'll burn it
so-
before
So
it
if
cooks
it's a
on the
gas
inside.
grill, let's do it both ways. If it's a gas grill, do we want it off the flame and slightly to the side, or do we want it right?
You want it on the flame, but you want a medium flame.
Okay.
You don't want to. You don't want a
It's the hardest
super
thing.
high flame.
I always try to teach even my young line cooks when
Yeah.
they're there. Those little knobs on the front of your grill and your stove.
They
it
have a
adjusts the
meeting.
heat.
Yeah, they don't have to be up
Yeah, they don't
all the
have-
way
like,
all the time.
yeah, they always want to turn it all the way up, the grill and the burners, and you can go down a little and go to medium, or even medium low is good.
So our secret is using one of the thermometers that you can keep in during
Right.
cooking,
Yeah.
and then you can go online and get the exact temperature of which to take it off. So I don't know, 120 or whatever, and then it continues cooking. But this way, it's scientific.
That's the way
Yeah,
I do it.
well, what you do too is you're going to sort of sear your meat off, and then if you have a lid on your grill,
What do you mean about searing your meat off?
well, you're going to take and turn it once you've got a nice
Brown it a little.
brown on it. You're going to turn it
And
to
do
the
it
other
all the way
side,
around.
all the way around. Okay.
So it's
And
nice and
in
grilled.
doing that, how do I know how much the inside has cooked in that process? Do I assume
I
not
have,
much?
We have the hands. We can tell if how soft it is. Mm-hmm. But a thermometer will work perfectly.
Okay.
Okay, and you should cook a fillet. For me, you should stop it like at 120.
Okay, and do you want the outside, as you're browning it, to be very dark brown, but do you want it a little
Well, your
black?
rub is going to give you some color already. You have coffee and so forth in there. But you want it to be a nice, deep, blackish brown, but not like really black.
No.
And then if you have a cover on your grill, after you've browned it, you want to close the cover.
And you
'Cause
want it to
that's
stay on the flame?
Yeah, that's going to cook the interior as well.
Okay, and
Yeah,
then you just
it's-
peek to see if it gets to 120, and then you take it off.
Yeah, and you might want to turn it. You look at it and see how it's doing.
And let it rest.
Yeah.
I was
I
just
don't
going to
know.
ask.
Let it rest
Yeah.
for a
a
day.
good,
Yeah, I was just going to
good
ask
half
about
Not
hour.
a day, but a
half
long
hour.
time. Yes, not 5 minutes.
half hour?
Yes,
and then you
an
use
hour,
and you make
half
sure you
hour.
let it rest
Yeah.
on something that maybe has a little incline, so the
Yeah.
blood can
Juices collect. Because you
can
make
go
sauce out of
down,
that.
and that's it, or even just the
Yeah.
jus right
Yeah.
on the meat.
Because we save
is
those
fabulous.
juices.
Oh,
so you
yeah.
have to-
I mean,
Yeah.
I cut into it to see
That's-
how it's
Yeah,
doing.
you can't do that.
Yeah.
I know.
not while it's cooking.
Well, why not?
Yeah.
Why can't I do that?
Well,
you get in trouble.
because your juices are going to start running out. You don't want.
And what will happen?
You can dry it
You're
out.
going to dry it out.
Will it dry out?
Yeah, especially filet. There's no fat in it. Mm-hmm. It's not a piece of meat, even like a steak or a porterhouse. All that they've got marbling and they've got fat in them normally.
How about after it comes off the grill and do you want to let it rest at least
Right.
a half an
Yes.
hour?
Right.
Okay. So can I cut into it right away when I take it off the grill to make absolutely certain,
to
or I
peek.
just trust the thermometer,
Trust
120?
the thermometer.
What you're hearing from me is nervousness about carryover cooking, where it's off the heat, but the thing, especially this happens with fish, especially, but
Yeah.
with meat too, it keeps cooking
Yeah.
itself, and so I'm thinking to myself, I've taken it off at 120 and I'm letting it rest for half an hour. To what degree is it? And I want to cut into it because I'm about to serve this to a number of people, and if it's not the right thing,
It's going to come up maybe 5 degrees or so.
Trust
It's
your
going
thermometer.
to be beautiful, nice and
Well, it was-
and
there's
rare.
There's so
you know?
many thermometers
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
buy now
Yeah.
that are high
If
tech.
if
So
you
what
want
if-
it well
what
done,
if-
you go up to 135 or
Yeah, I was
something.
gonna- if you
what
overcook it.
What if you want it medium because you're trying to please everybody's taste?
Then
so
take it off about 125.
125.
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
If you're going to overcook that, then overcook it all. Like
Yeah.
overcook all the vegetables, and and then you start using an English accent. Be purposeful.
Uh-oh.
Or you
You're in
can
trouble.
you can do a Vietnamese sandwich where you can pull the meat.
I always say, even if you
We're having
Rip it into
carnitas.
shreds. Tacos.
the key is to be ready to change the plan at any minute, right? So if you overcook it, exactly like Carole said, it's not the end of the world. It's still edible, and it's still probably pretty good.
all
So
the-
instead of slicing it and serving it with vegetables, do like she said. Say we're going to have these bun me sandwiches, and I grilled it this way because it's for the sandwich. You never have to fess up to
That's
doing
it.
something wrong.
It's funny. All the
So you want to have
Do a
backup
Julia Child.
rolls.
Yeah, do
backup
a
Yeah,
Julia
rolls.
have some backup rolls, or have some maybe backup like au jus to kind of like moisten it back up again, or something like that.
Well, this is. I remember,
The
Alex,
carnitas.
that you did a piece online. I think for us about how. No, and you talked about it on the show too. How sorry you were that you had spent so much time at a dinner you were hosting,
Aw.
apologizing,
I
and
ruined
that
the dinner.
you realized
I
that you
ruined
were
it.
ruining it. You
For
were
everyone,
further.
yeah.
So everyone was having such a good time. No one would have noticed, but I noticed, and then I was upset with Matt for overcooking it, and I made it uncomfortable for all of us, and I made sure that the meat ruined the dinner, and it's such a mistake. Just go with it. No one cares. No one really, really honestly cares. They want to be with you. They want to be having a fun time, and the
And
meat's
they,
arbitrary.
they
and
can
people-
talk about you in the car
you
afterwards.
go.
It's
Yeah.
a big deal.
and then you're on their mind
How
all the
bad
way
was that?
home.
But it's not like your house isn't a restaurant. They weren't paying to be there. I mean, they're happy to be there. So
Yeah, I think his point is don't sweat it, right?
Yeah.
Don't sweat it.
the lamb chops we did the other night, we were concerned that we had overcooked it. We followed exact proper cooking.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they were absolutely perfectly
I saw the
cooked.
picture online.
Yeah,
It
they
was
were perfect,
gorgeous.
perfect. So
Gorgeous.
I don't care anymore.
That's
The older
the-
I get, the less I worry about this stuff.
You just want to have people over.
Well,
Play a little
No,
bit.
maybe not that either.
That's like I said, I
I'm
don't
eating
cook
hot
at home,
dogs.
basically. In France, I cook, though. When I'm over there, I cook.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I have a kitchen over there that's pretty magnificent. And I get fish and things that you don't find here, like halibut and those turbo, which is a fish you don't get here.
Yeah.
So I see that, and I can't help myself.
You're inspired by the ingredients.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's true. I once, when I was on that tour, leading the tour in Italy, and this was another time, and we went to Chioggia, which is way out, and the fish market is so stunning. And we just led people through it to show them what it was like. And I was thinking to myself, I need to come back here and rent an apartment with a kitchen for a week and
just
do
cook.
nothing. Don't leave this apartment. Just go over here and buy these things. What are these? This looks so fabulous.
Well, they have all different kinds of squid, too. It isn't just like little
Yeah.
squid. You have
Barnacles.
Just
cornet,
wanna
you have the large, thick ones. I mean, it's amazing.
Oh, you must have
Yeah,
so
it's
much
all
fun.
fresh and all local.
And if you
right
watch
there,
the
it's-
locals, they're all gravitating towards the super fresh stuff too. So
Yeah.
you just sort of, you follow them along, and they,
They have fresh
Snapping.
sardines,
Oh.
anchovies. I mean, it's just...
a fresh
So
sardine.
how do we get that sense? I mean,
It's
Farmer-
coming. It's
farmers
coming.
markets.
It's coming.
why is
yeah.
it just that we feel that, when we go there?
that
Why-
we get that sense of need to cook?
Yeah, I mean, in a special way.
You're on vacation.
But you get that here at a farmer's
relaxed.
market.
Yes.
I
Yes,
feel
I
that
agree.
way at a farmer's market. I see
Yeah.
beautiful vegetables, but unfortunately, it's just you can't cook everything you see. And you could try. Go through
Yeah,
it
but you
and
go
be
to
like,
the farmer's market and he's got these lovely turnips that are
Yeah.
just, new baby turnips in the summer and that kind of thing. They're
that
so
is-
fabulous that you want to
You
cook.
think-
It's coming here. I mean, I'm not discounting the United States by any means. Like butchers are coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, craft butchers.
And all this thing is happening, so it's
Right.
exciting to see.
I read an article in I forget. I think it was one of the edibles, either from Cape Cod or Rhode Island. They were talking about a man on the Cape who is famous all around the Northeast for his turnips. And they were describing these turnips, and I thought, I can't believe that I want to get in my car
And get a turnip.
and drive all the
Drive to
way to
get
Cape
turnips.
Cod to buy this guy's turnips and cook these things that turn out to be like candy and have the most incredible flavor that ever, went on and on and on.
It reminds me of being like a hobbit or something, like in Middle Earth. Like, hi, a turnip.
Another vegetable that's getting popular is kohlrabi.
Yeah, I love
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And a lot of farms
Kohlrabi's
are growing it.
fabulous. A lot of farms, and it's in season now. It
What-
starts.
so how
out-
do you cook it? What do you
well,
do with it?
Well, I grew up with it as a kid, and it was like one of those weird things. But my mother used to make it like a gratin in a sort of cream sauce, and it was delicious. I always loved it. But we eat it raw a lot now.
I do slaws
We do it
and
in
salads.
salads and
Yeah.
slaws, and you do it on a mandolin and cut it into
Sort of
fine
like celery
julienne.
root,
Yeah,
right?
no, it's really good. So, but then you can also stir fry it in pieces. It's delicious.
And it must
with
grow well
scallions.
around here because you see it. A lot of farms are
Yeah.
picking it up
Yeah,
now and
no.
growing it. Yeah.
That's it. That's
It might be the new
And-
kale.
Could be the new
Oh
kale.
no!
Kale.
Yay! The
I know
leaves are edible on it too.
Oh, see?
Yes,
Can you
Definitely
fry
the
him like
new
a?
kale.
Can you fry him like a chip?
Try our
yeah, I
kohlrabi
don't see why
salad.
not.
Yeah, we're ready for something new too, aren't we? Because kale's got to be almost
Yeah,
done
please.
now.
Yeah,
So
I'm
let's
really-
go to something new.
Let's go to hot dogs.
You know,
I'm
I
all
have a
over
hard
that.
time getting kale sometimes from my farms.
The best.
There was a
Yeah.
time they would give it to you, like, please
Yeah.
come
What,
and take
kale?
the kale I
Yeah.
planted because nobody wants it.
Well, it goes-
Now I have to be like, can I get 5 pounds? 5 pounds.
Yeah, that's a lot of kale.
That's a lot
You
of kale.
want that much?
It's great for
I'm
a
like,
cheese board, though, if you want to put all the cheeses on something, for
The kale?
plate it. Yeah, the kale.
And a lot of
That's
people
what
that
kale
are,
used to be used for.
Yeah, no one ate it. It was decorative.
and a lot of people that are doing
Still
juicing
is.
are juicing kale and
Kale,
drinking it.
yeah.
Yeah,
The best first kale salad I had dried cherries in it and nuts and I think some cheese. It was really just terrific. And then I had it about 4 more times, and I realized about the 4th time that I was really in it for the dried cherries and the nuts and the
Exactly.
And so I just thought, I think I'm over kale. I was over kale quite some time ago. I'm ready for
started.
something else, people. Okay, fun. Carole Peck of Good News Cafe in Woodbury, Connecticut, one of the most talented chefs I know. Thank you so much for
thank
coming
you.
on the show. It's always an honor to have you here. And thank you, my food buddies, Alex Province, Chris Prosperi, and Anthony DeSerio, senior producer Robin Doyen-Aiken. We're on WNPR Thursdays at 3, Saturdays at noon, weekdays. Listen for my 60-second food schmoozes. Join the conversation with us. We're always up for a good time online at foodschmooze.org. In New Haven, I'm Faith Middleton.
Everybody eats when they come to mind.
This is the place to enjoy the richness of life. Sharing our local and national discoveries with you makes me want to get up in the morning. The gang and I hope you'll come back soon and often.